Here to meet the final boss. Ibogaine is something that I somewhat feared most of my life and psychedelic career. And as a researcher, I felt that I am patient zero. I'm the CEO of a nonprofit. I have to understand how these medicines work. And since I study traumatic brain injury, I had to go see how the one medicine with the most amount of information, positive information on traumatic brain injury works. If I'm going to put any of my athletes that I care for through these medicines, I have to be the person that does it first. Traumatic brain injury is the unseen ghost, the killer that drives many athletes to addiction, to suicide, to abusing themselves and others in all sorts of ways. And with myself, it was a long list of traumatic brain injuries. Putting myself in the hospital for multiple days in a snowboarding accident, to being punched in the head and body since I was 4 years old. I stopped doing that at 34, so 30 years of my life straight were taking abuse with a smile on my face. Those actions led to, confusion, depression, suicidal ideations, deep, deep addictions to everything that would make me feel better. It's just self-hatred, all these things that made me a monster to myself and to some people. I had to create a character to become the person I wanted to be, this world champion. I had to become a madman. And that accumulated in just a person that wasn't happy, that wasn't willing to live much longer. And I had two choices. It was either take my life, fight again for a new purpose. I have my daughter. She's my savior. And I couldn't face this world, this realm, and leaving her alone. And so I fought the good fight. She's the one that taught me how to heal people through my science brain, how to use plant medicine to heal people when she got very sick as a baby. I went through the exhaustive search that I'm on now to find things to fix myself. And it starts with the medicine. It does. It starts with the peptides or stem cells and psychedelics and food and supplements, breath work and meditation, hot and cold therapies. And then once you realize how well these work, you search for more. If you're like me, if you're trying to lead others to their own healing, and it gets into the breath work and the meditation and the gratitude and forgiveness and all these things that help you find source, that help you find God, that help you find God within. So then you can truly be healed. You change the stories you tell yourself. You change the stories you tell other people. You really find a connection, no matter what religion you're a part of. You find that it's all the same source, that you connect on that same level as humans. And then it comes down to a life of service. The selfish life of service that makes you feel so good to help others and to just be a light in the dark. Ibogaine helped me analyze my PTSDs and my traumas on a level that something like ayahuasca or mushrooms have not allowed me to do. Going back to the final boss, I am the final boss. I am the problem. There was nothing deeper. I thought that there must have been something else outside of my mommy issues and those sort of things. The PTSD that I found in my life, climbing into my underwear, getting into a cage and fighting someone for blood money. You give and receive PTSD the whole time you're in there. And I was able to unpack that relatively easily with the other medicines. Of course it wasn't easy, but I got through it because I practice this every day. And if you practice makes perfect, so you get through it pretty easily if you just stay the course. But Ibogaine was able to show me that there is no monster under my bed. There is nothing else. I'm not weak because I have these sort of traumas. I was a kid. I was born premature. I went through all these things. If you study Stanislav Grof, the traumatic birthing process, and how my parents' divorce and dissolution led me to believe all this is my fault. And I realized that no, it's okay to just be there and feel that. And know that I'm not the monster. The demons are not real. They're already gone. I just had to watch them dissolve through the slideshow of demons that were presented to me in Ibogaine. The darkest, most terrible things I've ever seen popped up. And I don't have any visceral response or emotional response to it. I thought it was kind of funny, but I was able to just see those monsters fade away and die off, and was taught that through the integration process that I'm okay, that I don't need to fear anything else, that I don't need to be looking and searching for something. I've finally, as Alan Watts says, I got the message, it's time to hang up the phone. For the athletes looking to go through this sort of treatment for addictions, for TBI issues. It's beautiful. It's going to help you. And done in a place like Beond with proper integration and all the other tools they use here, it's something I highly recommend, because first you need to deal with a traumatic brain injury. That's the first and foremost thing, because that's causing the breakup in you being able to analyze all of these things that are happening or not happening. The loss of thought and idea and confusion and depression and anxiety and all the things that come up. You first must heal the amyloid plaque in your brain. You must peel off the layers of your brain damage. Then you can assess the rest of it, the good stuff. You know, trauma only comes in a few flavors, and we're all afflicted with at least one of them. So as long as we can address those issues after the TBI, that's when the real magic happens. The most surprising thing about my Ibogaine experience was something I heard about, was the dissolution of the addiction. The physical pull. I've had so much spiritual practice. I've cleansed my body in so many ways, but there's still, even though my addictions were controlling me in life, they were still sitting right here, just like, hey man, what's going on? And sometimes you just feel this like pull, and to feel my body have no visceral pull to simple things, coffee, zins, things that I'm not like crazy addicted to, but I will like grab it and do this on my phone, and I have to check it every 3 seconds. No longer there. And of course, I know that wears off. I know that it's gonna take daily practice to keep doing that, to reprogram myself. But if I can reprogram my mind and my body to remember things after traumatic brain injury, something I do every morning, I had no memory bank. But to process through the general's tent, I call it, of what I have to do throughout the day, I can reprogram my body. I programmed it to fight the toughest people in the world. I can program it to not have a visceral pull to anything that's gonna harm me. I felt extremely well prepared coming into Beond. And obviously that's my job to prepare for this sort of stuff. But from a clinical side, from the coaching side, I felt extremely prepared with you guys. You come down here, you're getting all the treatments you need, an EKG every couple hours, drug testing, you know, constantly, the care. You sneeze and they're like, what do you need? You know, everyone is smiling at you with love and hugging you and making you feel safe. And of course, if you're looking at Ibogaine from an outside perspective, you're going on Google, the first thing that pops up is heart attack, blah, blah, blah. That happens with anything, okay? And that's the media trying to put us into fear. That's what they do. But if you do more research and you listen to more people as they go through this, or you know someone who's been through it, and more importantly, when you see it happen here, as someone who once was addicted to opiates, the relief you see people go through is so profound. And again, the care is a huge part of that. It vibrates into the clients here. We all are here to love each other. Someone comes through that door, they're the first few minutes they're there, and we're waving them over. Come sit in a circle and talk to us. And these people come in and they're shaking and they're crying and they're holding it in, and they tell you their story because they know they feel the container that's been built. It's from the top down, you know, like, and it's just a safe space for whatever you need to happen. So it's really beautiful. For me, we'll go body high first was terrible. I hated it. But I needed to feel that because of my addictions. I did. No, I don't ever want to go down that path again. You know, it was slight, but it wasn't a good time. And I was like, 12 hours of this, geez. But, you know, some of the other people just had total bliss, had such a great time. So I'm maybe on the darker side of it, which is okay. It was not your usual psychedelic. It is very, very different because it's healing the brain and the receptors in a very different manner. It's working on different receptors, and it's a little more, I think, cleansing of certain parts of the body, you know, and certain parts of the brain. So it's more like you can feel workers in your head that are repairing things, you know, where say something like ayahuasca is a little more spiritual. It's a little more in tune with Mother Earth. This is more, I feel like it's in tune with you, where it's just tapping in and just tink, like, we got to get to work, man. You know, they're putting in the serious effort to just fix it. How Ibogaine helped me with my ketamine dependency was pretty profound. That initial pull to it. As a former addict, and then, you know, a person of interest in the psychedelic space, you think you're safe with all these medicines. And the amount of rampant abuse of ketamine in this space is pretty crazy. And of very high functioning people, the movers and shakers of the psychedelic world. It was not good for me to go into working for 2 different ketamine companies. You know, as a coach, as a person helping them out, and nothing against the brands, but someone like myself getting basically an unlimited supply of free ketamine, not healthy. To have to now be addicted to something else, You know, even though, again, it's not controlling my whole life, but just these small little, like, oh, I gotta have it. You know, I was not a fun feeling. You know, you're fighting it, you're training, and you're working out like I'm getting ready for a fight constant. Was not something that was good for me. And with ketamine or with Ibogaine, it eliminated the pull to it. It has. It's, and mentally, physically, I just finally know that it's over, which is good because I don't want another 20-year addiction like I had with opiates. You know, I want to be free, and I'm finally free at last, free at last. I can finally move on. As a certified psychedelic integration coach, I have many tools to work in this space and to help people and help myself, more importantly. With Beond, you guys package it all together very well. The healers you have, coaches you have, it works from the top down. You know, you have Tom stop by and just drop knowledge on people. And you see how his leadership has really impacted everyone in such an amazing way. And, you know, group talk is very, very helpful. Everyone is so open. Every single, you know, healing session, massage, acupuncture, cold plunge, sound healing, and each one of them has its own special vibe to it. So if you know, I resonate with it all, I love all of it, you know, but some people don't. So it's like you get, each person kind of gets to pick and choose what they want to do. And it's very helpful because one key does not fit each lock. You have to have many modalities. You have to have many viewpoints of each thing and perspectives. So it was good to see each person be able to just feel comfortable using these tools, and then also planning on carrying them into the life after Beond.